am a social science teacher of Jafri and Fatima English School. Today we are going to learn lesson number 1, Arrival of Europeans in India. Our country was one of the leading countries in the world. Our country was distinct in the whole world. People of various countries were being influenced by our culture and prosperity. Many people worldwide were eager to enter into trade with our country and earn wealth out of it. Earlier, the merchants from the various countries came to India from northwest by land route for the purpose of trading. For years, the Arab traders undertook trade through land route. But as situation changed, trade through land route stopped. Consequently, the demand of silk, muslin, cotton clothes, black pepper, spices, etc. started increasing in the European countries. This increased the demand of Indian products like silk and cotton clothes, muslin, spices like clove, pepper, etc. in the European countries. So, this led Europeans to discover a new sea route to India. Reason. In the ancient and early medieval period, the European traders traveled to Asia by land. But after the capture of Constantinople by the Turks in 1453, this trade route was almost closed for the European traders. So, the Europeans cannot live without the Indian spices, and there was a need to discover new sea route to India. For discovering this new sea route, many adventurous sailors from European countries tried to find sea route to India. Among them, first was Columbus. Columbus was an Italian explorer, made the first attempt at finding the sea route to India in 1492. He started his journey to come to India, but coincidentally reached America. He considered himself to be the discoverer of India. Therefore, native inhabitants of America are called Red Indians, and the island group in the Caribbean is known as West Indies. Christopher Columbus made 4 trips across the Atlantic Ocean from Spain in 1492, in 1493, in 1498 and 1502. He was determined to find a direct water route west from Europe to Asia, that is India. But he never did. Instead, he stumbled upon to America. Throughout his life, he was thinking that he discovered India, but it was not so. And therefore, the place where he reached and the native of that place are called Red Indians, and the place where he reached is known as West Indies now. Second explorer was Vasco da Gama, a Portuguese explorer. He was the first European to reach India by sea. His initial voyage to India was the first to link Europe and Asia by an ocean route. First, the people were coming by land route, but Vasco da Gama was the one who discovered new sea route to India. In 1498, Vasco da Gama, a Portuguese sailor, he was from Portugal, discovered new sea route to India. He went round Cape of Good Hope and reached the port of Calicut. Cape of Good Hope is South Africa, and from there it was easy to reach Calicut, India. Vasco da Gama first landed at Calicut in India on 22nd May 1498. Zamorin, the king of Calicut, permitted the Portuguese to undertake the trade in India. In ancient times, there were no passports, no visa for entering to others' countries, but it was necessary for each one want to enter in others' area to get permission from the respective king ruling over that area. So, the Portuguese sailor Vasco da Gama asked permission to enter in Calicut from King Zamorin, and he was also allowed to trade in India. Portuguese came to India for trade. They asked permission from King Zamorin, and Vasco da Gama was the one who reached in India. Later on, one by one, all the Portuguese were coming in India and they started trading in India. They used to come in India and taking spices, clothes, muslin, etc. from here, and they gained huge profit. For expanding their business, many traders after Vasco da Gama starts entering into India for trade. Within a span of 100 years, 100 long years, Portuguese were coming and going from India, and they were widespreading their business and gaining lots and lots of profit. The Portuguese had taken control over Mangalore, Cochin, Diu, Daman, Goa, Mumbai, and the island of Lanka. Slowly they started capturing one by one area, and in 100 years, so you can see in the picture in the red you can see, right, red point shows that this area was of Portuguese at that time, and all the area which Portuguese had captured is having a sea coast. See, you can see this in a picture, right? On the other picture you can see is the port from where Portuguese were coming and going from India. End of Portuguese rule. In the beginning of 17th century, the Portuguese expanded their trade to Bengal. Subedar of Bengal complained about Portuguese activities to the Mughal Emperor Shah Jahan, who ruled India from Delhi. Within just 100 years, the Portuguese had taken control over Mangalore, Cochin, Diu, Daman, Goa, Mumbai, and the island of Lanka. Later on, then in the beginning of 17th century, the Portuguese started expanding their trade and they go towards the Bengal. The Subedar of Bengal was very harsh. He complained about the Portuguese activities. At that time, Mughal Emperor Shah Jahan was ruling India from Delhi. As per the emperor's order, on the basis of the complaint of Subedar that about Portuguese activities, that they are not paying tax, they are controlling over area, such type of complaints were now and then coming to emperor. So on the emperor's order, Hooghly fort was demolished and the Portuguese ships were burned. So this marked the end of Portuguese rule, that now later on they also understood that we are not able to rule, we are not able to take control over this area. In this way, the Portuguese rule came to an end in Bengal with the exception of Diu, Daman and Goa. Only these three places were there where Portuguese was ruling. From all other places, they have to leave and went away back to Portugal. You can see here Hooghly Fort. As per the emperor's order, Hooghly Fort was demolished and Portuguese ships were burned by Indians. In this way, Portuguese rule came to an end with the exception of Diu, Daman and Goa. Next was Dutch who come to India. Dutch are the people of whole land. Just as the people living in India is known as Indians, the people living in America are known as Americans. Same way, the people of Holland are known as Dutch. At the end of 16th century, the Dutch from Holland came to India for trade. As I told earlier, spices is such a thing with which we cannot live, right? Without spices we cannot live, we cannot imagine life without spices. Tasteless life will happen without spices. So, they also came to India for trade. They established their fort at Pulikat, Madras, that is Chennai now, and a trade center at Agra. Whenever anyone was coming from the foreign countries, just as we are having guest houses now, hotels now, pay and use, same way, before it, in ancient times it was not so. They established their own fort to come and stay there. Okay, so they established their fort at Pulikat, Madras and at the trade center at Agra. Meanwhile, the British arrived in India. The Dutch could not withstand competition against Britishers. Now, Britishers are the people from England. Just as I told, the people of India is known as Indians. The people, the native of America are known as Americans. The native of Holland are known as Dutch. Same way, the people living in England are known as Britishers. So, people from England also arrived in India. The main motive was to trade. They came in India for trading, for doing business. And there started a competition between Britishers and Dutch. So, the Dutch were in less number and they could not withstand with competition against the Britishers. So, they have to left India. In 1600 CE, the British established East India Company. First ship of this company arrived at the port of Surat in 1608. As the name suggests that it was an East India Company, a group of small investors and small group of investors and businessmen looking to capitalize and on a new trading opportunities, they started their trade in India. The first ship of this company arrived at the port of Surat in 1608. Again, they also have to ask the permission from King William Hawkins, the captain of the ship and the first British to set foot in India, met Jahangir but did not get permission to trade. He was the first Britishers who set foot in India. He came in India and asked Jahangir. He met Jahangir. It was necessary for him to meet Jahangir because there was a system in ancient times. If you want to enter in another's area, you need to get permission. So he met Jahangir and asked the permission for business, but he did not get that permission and he has to return back to England. Then how did they rule over India? We'll study in the next video, but before that, would like to revise what we have studied till now. Our country was distinct in the whole world. People of various countries were being influenced by our culture and prosperity. Many people worldwide were eager to enter into India with our country and earn wealth out of it. Earlier, the merchants from the various countries came to India from northwest by land route for the purpose of trading. For years, the Arab traders undertook trade through land route. But as situation changed, trade through land route stopped. Consequently, the demand for commodities, Indian commodities like silk, cotton clothes, muslin, black pepper, spices, etc. increased in the European countries. To take the advantage of this situation, many countries of Europe started searching for a sea route to India. Subsequently, some adventurous sailors of Europe and other countries started the search of sea route to come to India. Second thing we have learned was about Christopher Columbus. Christopher was an Italian explorer. He was one of the brave sailors who ventured out to find the sea route to India. He thought that one can go to the east via west also. Why did he believe so? Think about it. Columbus started his journey to India and accidentally he reached America. Hence, even today, the natives of America are called Red Indians and the island group in the Caribbean is known as West Indies. Second, we have learned about Vasco da Gama. Vasco da Gama was a native of Portugal. He discovered new sea route to India. He entered in Cape of Good Hope in South Africa and reached the port of Calicut on 22nd May 1498. At that time, King Zamorin was ruling over Calicut. He gave permission to the Portuguese to trade. The Portuguese established a fort in Calicut for trade in 1500 CE. They fortified it and appointed a commander-in-chief, namely Albert Q, to safeguard the fort. Moving northwards, they also conquered Goa in 1506 CE. Within a span of 100 years, the Portuguese took control of Mangalore, Cochin, Goa, Diu, Mumbai and island of Lanka. Next we have seen was end of Portuguese rule. In the beginning of 17th century, the Portuguese expanded their trade to Bengal. At this time, the Mughal Emperor Shah Jahan was ruling from Delhi. The Subedar of Bengal complained to Shah Jahan about the behavior of Portuguese. Thus the fort of Hooghly was demolished and the ships were burned as per the order of the emperor. In this way, Portuguese rule came to an end with the exception of territories of Diu, Daman and Goa. Another thing we have learned about the Dutch. After 100 years of the arrival of the Portuguese, at the end of the 16th century, the Dutch of Holland, now it is known as Netherlands, came to India for trading. Initially, they established forts at Pulicat and Madras. Now it is known as Chennai. They also established a trade center at Agra in the year 1663. Meanwhile, the British also arrived in India. Dutch could not withstand the competition against the Britishers and they had to leave India and go back to Netherlands. Last we have studied about British interest in India. During the reign of Queen Elizabeth of England in the year 1600 CE, the British established the East India Company. This company belonged to merchants who wanted to increase their wealth by undertaking trade with India. First British ship arrived in India at the port of Surat in the year 1608 CE. Captain William Hawkins, the captain of the ship, was the first British to set foot in India. He met Jahangir but did not get his permission to trade. Thereafter, Sir Thomas Rao arrived in India, who acquired the permission. But before that, would like to give you some information about Jahangir. He was a son of Akbar and Akbar was a son of Humayun. And Humayun was a son of Babur. The life of Babur we have already studied all this till Aurangzeb in the 7th standard, right? And Jahangir did not give permission to Britishers to trade in India. Then how did they rule over India? What happened when Sir Thomas Rao arrived in India and he got the permission? We'll study in a next video. Keep learning.